可以入翻嚟。OK， 好啦 ，OK， 咁我就 pass 俾 Nadila and yeah, take your time and you can share your information with our audience today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Venus. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for plugging in on Saturday morning for this webinar. My name is Nadila Shataer. I am one of the international recruiter at George Brown College International Center. I'm very happy to be here today to participate in Rise Smart's webinar to take this opportunity and share more information about George Brown College programs, a little bit about our admission requirements, and any recent update that we have regarding international students. All right, before I start my presentation, I just want to play a quick short video. In this video, you will learn better of what kind of program that we offer here at George Brown College. All right, let's get started. So a little bit of background information. George Brown College is one of the largest public colleges in Ontario. We are funded by the provincial government in Ontario. And we are also one of the 13 polytechnic colleges in Canada. So the polytechnic education model in Canada is a very unique It's a very unique education system that we have in the college. So there are only 13 colleges in Canada that implement this kind of education model. So Polytechnic focuses more on hands-on and industry responsive curriculum. So we will encourage students to do learning by doing. And then the goal is that our graduates from George Brown College will be able to take over the job as soon as they complete the program. So whatever you're learning in the classroom are the most up-to-date information and the required skill sets in today's workplace. So basically, it focuses a lot on hands-on practical part of the curriculum building. So that is the biggest feature of polytechnic education. And this is where we are. People also call George Brown College Toronto City College because, as you can see in this map, all of our campuses are located in downtown Toronto. We have and all of the campuses are actually very well connected to the public transportation, the subway lines here. We don't have that many lines in Toronto with the subway. That said, all of the campuses are right next to the subway station. So it's very convenient for international students to commute. So our main campus, St. James, is here right next to Yonge and King subway station where Toronto's financial district is located. And down here, walking distance is our waterfront campus right in front of Lake Ontario. It's in Toronto's harborfront area. And we also have our student residence in the blue circle SR. In case you're interested, we do have this student residence accommodation. It's also walking distance to St. James and the waterfront. When the weather is nicer in the summer, you do want to walk. That's completely fine because it's not too far. If it's winter, when it's colder, you can definitely take the streetcar in front of the building. It's very easy to commute between campuses from the student residence. And our second largest campus, CL, is our Casa Loma campus. It's right next to Toronto's famous tourist site, Casa Loma. So that's how we get our campus name. And this is the green circle R is our Ryerson University campus. I will talk about this in next couple of slides. But generally speaking, all of the campuses are in downtown Toronto, and we are the only school in Ontario with all campuses in downtown. You probably already know that Toronto is Canada's largest city, and the majority of the company headquarters, majority of the employment opportunities are basically gathered here in the city of Toronto and mainly in downtown area. So studying in downtown Toronto not only means that it's very convenient to access city attractions, restaurants, and all kinds of cultural events. Most importantly, it's very, very convenient for George Brown College students because it's very easy for you to access your employers when it comes to field education opportunities such as co-op, internship, or full-time job, or let's say some students, they want to work part-time to support themselves while studying in Canada. All those opportunities are right next to you because our campuses are surrounded by those employers. All right, so now let's have a look at our campuses. The first campus, the main campus, is our St. James campus. As I said earlier, it's right next to Toronto's financial district. So that's why our School of Business, entire School of Business is here in the St. James campus. And the culinary and hospitality programs are also here at the St. James campus. If you're studying community service or media programs such as video production, you will also be completing your program at St. James, as well as English for academic purpose EAP program. All right, so next is our Casa Loma campus, the second largest campus we have. If you're gonna study in construction related programs or fashion, jewelry, or computer technology related programs, then you will be completing your study here at our Casa Loma campus. And this is a waterfront campus. Personally, I think it's the most beautiful campus we have because it has a very nice lake view in this building, and all the health science programs such as dental, gerontology, office administration, all that are located here at the waterfront campus. And I also want to quickly mention that we did move our School of Design, entire School of Design to waterfront campus in a different building in 2019. So the purpose of moving our School of Design to the waterfront area is because the City of Toronto initiated this design hub idea in the Toronto's harborfront area. So they have this building called the Daniels. So there are a lot of game studios, design companies, and the startups moved into this building. So that's why George Brown decided to move our entire School of Design to this area as well in the same building called Daniel City of Arts. So we have the first four floors to George Brown College. So if you're gonna study in any of the design programs, you will be studying at our waterfront campus. So the reason why we moved our School of Design to this building is because it makes it easier for our design program students to engage with the industry or even their future employers while they're studying at George Brown. All right, so earlier I mentioned we do have a Ryerson campus. So the air code is that it's really not a campus per se. We share this building with Ryerson University. So the entire School of Early Childhood Education, ECE, is here at our Ryerson University site. So we have the 4th and 5th floor for George Brown College. The reason why George Brown College's School of ECE is here at the Ryerson University site is because two schools work closely. We do have an ECE diploma to Ryerson University's ECE degree program articulation agreement. So there is a pathway from diploma to degree into a university and get a bachelor degree there. So that's why two schools work closely. And if you're gonna study in ECE program, you will be completing your program at Ryerson University site. And this is our residence. It's a relatively new building. It was opened in 2015. It's a very nice 2-bedroom suite, fully furnished. You will have a city view, you will have your own bed, TV, closet, table, and everything, but you do need to share a common area like kitchen, living room with another roommate. So the residence is actually pretty limited. We only have 500 beds, so it's very, very competitive. Make sure that if you're interested in applying for the residence, don't wait for your offer letter and then apply. It's going to be too late. As soon as you're thinking about George Brown, you can put your name on the residence waitlist, and eventually, when you decide to come, you can pay the deposit and secure your spot. All right, so that's pretty much about our campuses. And now I want to quickly talk about the programs. We have over 170 career-oriented programs offered to international students. The credential types include 1-year certificate, 2-year, 3-year diploma programs, 4-year bachelor degree, as well as a 1-year postgraduate certificate program. So all the postgraduate certificate program offered at George Brown College are 1 year. Regardless, they're 2 semesters or 3 semesters, all of them are considered as 1 academic year. All right, and in terms of the academic centers, we have 7 academic centers offering unique and specialized programs, including business, information technology, community service, social service worker, ECE, culinary, hospitality, and all of that. I'm going to talk about the programs in next couple of slides. So one thing I do want to mention is that we have a very strong graduation employment rate and employer satisfaction rate at George Brown College, because we work closely with the industry leaders to ensure that the skills that you learn in the classroom are the ones that you will need on the job. And another important thing that I do want to address is that a lot of faculty at George Brown College, they are part-time faculty. That means they actually have a full-time job in the industry. So that's the reason why we would like to do that, is because we want to make sure that the faculty working full-time in the industry can bring in the most up-to-date knowledge to our classroom. So our students are learning the most up-to-date, most advanced technology and information in today's job place. All right, so earlier I mentioned that we are one of the 13 polytechnic colleges in Canada, right? So here at George Brown College, we encourage learning by doing. So what does learning by doing mean? It means that 100% of our programs will have some kind of experiential learning component embedded. So if your program is, it has like a longer program length, or the course structure is kind of evenly scattered from first and second semester, we are able to incorporate co-op terms or internship or field education in your program. But some programs are shorter or very, very intense, only have 2 semesters, or shorter, maybe 2 years as a diploma program, and the course itself is already very intense. So in that case, we are not able to integrate co-ops. Then we will have some other kind of experiential learning opportunity for our students, such as capstone projects or on-campus work, teaching labs. So essentially, the goal is that we want to make sure everyone graduating from George Brown College programs, especially international students, will gather some kind of Canadian experience before they graduate. Because in Canada, the employer really, really value the local Canadian experience. So having some kind of Canadian experience while you are studying at George Brown College will definitely be helpful when you are looking for jobs. All right, so I mentioned that part of the experiential learning opportunity we can offer to our students is the on-campus experiential learning opportunities. The reason why we are able to do that is because our location, we stay in downtown Toronto, made us able to operate a lot of facilities that are open to public and also serve as the facility to provide Canadian experience, accumulate Canadian experience for our students. For example, the Chef's House. This is a restaurant in our very close to our St. James campus. It's a relatively high-end restaurant located in downtown Toronto, managed by our culinary and hospitality program students. So if you're going to study in culinary or hospitality programs such as restaurant management or beverage management, you will be completing 14 weeks of externship in the Chef's House. And because it's open to public, so you will be, engaging, interacting with customers in real life for the 14 weeks. So that will be the Canadian experience you will gather before you graduate. And we also have we have 12 childcare centers that is open across the Greater Toronto area. George Brown College has been delivering the ECE program for over 25 years now. They have very good reputation in early childhood education, and that is why we are able to operate 12 childcare centers across Toronto. All of them are open to public, serving to the general public, and also serve as a lab school for our ECE program students to complete their placements. And we also have a clinic that is open to public, located in our waterfront campus. It's called a WAVE Clinic. So if you're going to study in dental program or hearing assistant program, you will be providing real life clinical service to the general public. That is a very valuable clinical experience that international students can get. All right, so that's pretty much about the college overview. And now I want to quickly move on to our programs. I do want to be mindful about the time, so and also leave as much time as possible for the Q&A session. So I won't be talking about all the programs one by one, just quickly talk about a few of them. So the first one will be English for academic purpose. So majority of the students from Hong Kong, they do meet the direct entry requirement, but there are some students that they have IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo, but it doesn't meet the direct entry requirement. In that case, you can still apply by adding the EAP in your application and get a conditional acceptance. So we have our EAP has 9 levels in total. Each level is 8 weeks, so 2 months. That's why the EAP operates every 2 months. Completion of EAP level 8 meets the English requirement for our diploma programs. Completion of level 9 meets the English requirement for our postgraduate and degree programs. And next will be our Center for Business. So as I mentioned earlier, Center for Business is literally walking distance to Toronto's financial district. It's a huge advantage for our business program students. And in terms of the program choices, if you want to study in diploma programs, we do have 2 years or 3 years option, depends on how long you do want to study your program. The area of study basically covers everything from business in general to accounting to HR to finance to marketing. And the difference between 2 years and 3 years is that 2 years are very intense. 4 semesters, basically the courses are pretty like it's full for every semester. So there is no co-op term, unfortunately, because of the intense course load. That said, there is like a field education elective credit that you can select by taking the internship. And then as long as you complete your internship successfully, you will earn that field education credit in the 2-year business diploma programs. But if you do want to gain some real Canadian experience before you graduate, then I would recommend you to consider the 3 years advanced diploma programs because it comes with at least 1 co-op term. So the co-op term is 14 weeks, about 3 months, right? So that's a full-time job that you've been working for 3 months. It will be a good opportunity for you to gain some Canadian experience, also develop some network, before you graduate. So that's going to be helpful for whoever want to gain some Canadian experience before graduation. If you already have a bachelor degree or advanced college diploma, then you can definitely consider our postgraduate programs listed here. So as you can see, our postgraduate programs are pretty diversified in terms of area of study. It's very, very specific, actually. The correct word should be specific. So for example, for marketing, you can see that we have different types of marketing postgraduate programs. Because it's very specific and also very narrow in the area of study. We have digital media marketing, we have marketing management specifically designed for financial services. We have sports and event marketing, and we also have strategic relationship marketing. So that's a feature of the postgraduate program in Canada. It's usually 1 year, very short, also very intense. And also it's very, very specific in the area of study. So usually who will study postgraduate programs in Canada, let's say for domestic students, most of them actually already graduated from their university and worked in a workplace for a couple of years. They want to come back to school and then, just study for a shorter period of time to improve their skills in certain area, then they will study in the postgraduate programs. So the course itself can be very intense, but also rewarding as well. So those are the postgraduate programs that we have for Center for Business. All right, so next one will be Center for Art, Design, and Information Technology. It's a pretty big academic center here. We have a School of Design, School of Fashion and Jewelry, School of Media and Performing Arts, and a School of Computer Technology. So the program list is pretty long. I'm not going to talk about them one by one, but just going to pick a couple of popular programs, such as Computer Programmer Analyst. It's a 3 years diploma program. We also have computer system technology. If you're into game, then we have a game programming, which is more focused on coding. And we also have a game art, which is more focused on design side of the work. And we also have other design programs. George Brown's design program actually has a pretty good reputation. Our students have been winning a lot of design games throughout the years, such as graphic design. We also have interaction design and development. And I'm also seeing a lot of students are applying for video design and production as well. It's a 2-year diploma program, getting very, very popular among our students, both domestic and international. If you're into video editing, then this is a very popular program to consider. It requires portfolio, so make sure that you do have some portfolio work to apply for the program. And this program fills quickly. So if you are considering video design and production, make sure that you get all the admission documents ready so that you can apply as soon as the program is open. And in terms of the postgraduate, sorry, I forgot to mention, we also have a really good fashion programs as well, such as fashion management or 1-year fashion technique and design. So you can definitely look into the program page for more information and consult with Rise Smart if you want to know more about the program application. And in terms of postgraduate programs, it also covers from design to information technology, as well as fashion. So you can definitely check it out. All right, so the next one will be Center for Construction and Engineering. I didn't list all the programs here, but just to give you a sense, for diploma, it basically covers everything in the construction area, from architectural to interior design to construction engineering. You can definitely check it out from the website. And if you already have previous background in construction, then you can consider the postgraduate programs. The 2 programs we offer here at George Brown. The first one is Building Information Modeling BIM Management Program. George Brown College is used to be the only school in Canada to offer the BIM management program because this program requires cutting-edge technology, and we are able to accommodate that facility at our Casaloma campus. And in this picture you're seeing is our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He was visiting George Brown College in 2017. This picture was taken in the BIM lab with our BIM program students. And another postgraduate program we have is construction management. So if you have previous background in civil engineering, structural engineering, architectural studies, or construction management, you can definitely apply for the postgraduate program. These 2 postgraduate programs actually have a very, very high employment rate at 95%. I would say it could be the highest in Ontario. So it means 95% of the graduates will be able to find a full-time job within 6 months of graduation. All right, The next one will be our Center for Community Services and Early Childhood. Our ECE programs are very popular, and I'm also seeing a lot of applications from Hong Kong as well as other programs such as community worker or social service worker. But I just want to quickly tell you that for the early childhood education ECE program, because we have been operating the program for so many years, we do have different streams, very flexible. The regular stream ECE is 2 years, 4 semesters, right? And we also have accelerated stream. Oftentimes I get the question like, what's the difference between accelerated and the regular one? So the difference is that admission requirements is the same. 4 semesters are the same. The only difference is that for the early childhood education accelerated stream, you will study 4 semesters consecutively. So that's why it's called accelerated. But the program itself is still considered as 2 academic years because you studied 4 semesters. So that's the accelerated stream. And we also have fast track option. So the fast track option C130 listed here, this one is a little bit different. This one has a more advanced admission requirement because this program is designed for students who already have an ECE credentials overseas and who just want to study a Canadian ECE program for the shortest period of time, and then they can register as early childhood educator and then start working. So that's the purpose of developing this fast track option. It's 2 semesters considered as a 1 academic year, but you need to have the ECE credentials such as diploma, certificate, or bachelor degree in order to apply for this program. And the other thing worth mentioning is that I mentioned earlier that we do have articulation agreement for the ECE from diploma to degree program. And George Brown also has its own early childhood leadership bachelor degree program as well. So you can either, if you want to further your study in the future, you can either go to Ryerson and get an ECE degree program, bachelor degree, or continue your bachelor degree at George Brown and get an early childhood leadership bachelor degree program. All right, and the next one will be our Center for Health Science. You can see the program list is actually shorter compared with other academic centers. The reason is because our School of Nursing programs are not open to international students at this point. Because we have huge domestic volumes, we are not able to accommodate any international seats for now. That said, we do have a lot of other programs that are popular among international applicants, such as behavioral science, dental programs, office administration focusing on health services or health information management, and as well as this one, recruitment management in gerontology. I put a red arrow here is because I do want to recommend this program for students who are comfortable working with senior people. This is a very good program, 2 years, 4 semesters. Every semester you will be completing a field placement, so you will gain a lot of Canadian experience before you graduate. And the other thing is that Canada has a huge aging population. So graduates of the recruitment management in gerontology program actually are very demanding in the job market. It's also in the long term, this is a very good career path as well. So some students are kind of curious about what does this program learn. So essentially the program is slightly different with nursing program students. So you don't have to feed or wash senior people. Instead, you will be studying psychology, aging theories, biology, gerontology, all that. And then after you graduate, you will be working in hospitals, senior home centers, senior daycare center, and use the knowledge that you learn in the first semesters and design an entertaining and qualified life for senior population. So that's what the graduate of this program will do. Very demanding in Canada, and also because of the huge aging population we have, 1 out of 4 people in Canada is at the age over 65. So that's why the Canadian government has been offering a lot of fundings in the recruitment and management sector. So the job opportunities are a lot out there. As long as you're interested, then I would definitely recommend you to consider this program. All right, the last academic center is our most popular academic center for hospitality and culinary arts. So you may already heard of it. We do have a lot of famous chefs, famous alumni working in the industry. One of our graduates from the culinary program, she's a girl from Hong Kong. I think she was She was selected as the best chef in Asia in 2020. I think her name is Diali Tam. You can definitely check it out. She's working in one of the restaurant in Shanghai right now, also a very well-known restaurant. So that's the famous alumni we have from Hong Kong. So for the programs, our chef school is the largest chef school in Canada. We offer all the programs that you can think of, from 1 year to 2 year, focusing on baking to culinary and everything in hospitality. And 100% of the program will include an externship. So it can be 7 weeks, it can be 14 weeks, depending on which program that you're enrolled in. And we also have a lot of hands-on on-campus learning facilities, such as the chef's house I mentioned earlier. And we also have cafe that is open to public as well. So you will have a lot of places that you can actually gain some kind of experience while studying those programs. And we also have the most industry partnerships as well. So any company that you can think of, the leading ones in the hospitality and culinary sector are our industry partners. So graduates in this academic center, you will receive a lot of support when it comes to job hunting from our alumni network, because they have such a good reputation, and also our industry partners. We have so many industry partners in this academic center. Every year they will do their own career fair twice a year. They will do the interview and hiring on site at George Brown College. So you will definitely receive a lot of support looking for the job opportunity after completing your program here. All right, so that's pretty much about our programs. I want to quickly talk about admission requirements. So the general admission requirements for diploma programs for Hong Kong applicants is that you can apply with your 3-year high school diploma and transcript to majority of the diploma programs, as long as you have grade 12 English and grade 11 or 12 math mark with passing marks. So that's one option. Or you can also apply with your HKCEE or HKDSE result for the diploma program. So for that, you need to have a minimum grade of level 3 or C in English and level 2 or D in math. For those programs that requires math subject, you need to meet this level 2 or D in math requirement. And you also need to have the passing mark for all subjects. So you can have either of both, either one of them. You can either apply with 3-year high school transcript or apply with HKCE or DSE. And some students, if you have already graduated from high school a long time ago, you don't have DSE or CAE report, you don't have the 3-year high school transcript, but you did study in a college diploma or bachelor degree, as long as there are English and math subjects in the transcript that we can review, then usually you can use them to apply for a majority of the diploma programs. All right, so that's for diploma. And for postgraduate programs, the minimum requirement usually is 3 years advanced diploma or 4 years bachelor degree. Some programs only accept 4-year bachelor degree, very few of them, such as human resource management postgraduate program, but majority of them will be open to 3 years advanced diploma as well. And you also need to be 18 when you register for our programs. So that's the general admission requirement. And I also want to share that on top of the academic requirement I just said in the previous slide, we also require English proficiency, such as IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo, right? And we recently implemented a new policy for Hong Kong students. So if you are if you're students from Hong Kong, and if you meet any of this criteria listed here, you can be exempted from IELTS or TOEFL. So you do not need to submit IELTS or TOEFL when applying for our program. As long as you meet any of these conditions listed here, you are exempted from English proficiency. But you still need to submit the HKCE, DSE, or 3-year high school transcript as an academic requirement, but you just don't need to submit IELTS or TOEFL if you meet any of this, such as achieved 4 or above in English in the DSE result, or achieved C or above in CEE exam, or if you have studied full-time, 2 full academic year in an English-speaking country and graduated within past 10 years, or let's say if you studied a minimum of 2 full academic years in those 9 universities listed here, including HKMU. So this is a very new policy that we started implementing about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. So still very new. So that's why I do want to address this new policy for our audience here. And if you don't meet any of those exemption conditions that I shared in the previous slide, then you will be required to submit IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo when applying for the program. So for Duolingo, we will continue to accept it for applications up to May 2023 intake. We don't know what's going to happen about September 2023. Admission hasn't decided that whether they will continue to accept it or no. But for now, we will continue to accept Duolingo if you're applying for applications in this September, next January, or next May. All right, so one last thing before I go to the FAQ session. So one last thing is our application cycle. So we actually opened our application for January 2023 on April 4th. So it's open for application right now. If you're interested, I would strongly recommend you to submit your application as early as you can, because it's usually processed on a first come, first served basis. The earlier you submitted your application, the earlier your application will be touched when we start reviewing them on June 20th. So this is our application cycle. Our admission are reviewed on following this cycle dates here. All right, so that's the end of my presentation. I will leave the rest of the time for questions.
Okay, thank you so much. I will just translate your presentation in Cantonese, just a brief summary, and then you can take a break, and then we can go to the Q&A session. OK， 係啦，首先大家都聽咗學校嗰個學校代表啦，啲簡單嘅介紹啦。咁我用即係廣東話做少少 wrap up先，咁大家可以知道你都可以呢段期間咧就消化下有啲咩問題可以喺個 chat box 度提出嘅。咁簡單講啦，即係 George Brown 就係位於多倫多市中心啦，係咪心臟地帶啦？咁其實都係13間 Polytech 嘅之一嚟嘅 ，OK， 咁佢個 campus 啦，頭先講啦，位於多倫多市中心啦，咁所以其實佢咧係你問我多倫多，我自己覺得啦，市中心係我自己都喺嗰邊即係生活過啦，係好 energetic 嘅城市啦，都比較潮啲啦，咁同埋好多business 啦都喺嗰度啦，個工作機會會多啦，同埋好多即係headquarters 都喺嗰邊啦，咁所以呢個係一個 downtown 嘅優勢，同埋佢返學好方便嘅，因為全部都係嗰啲嗰啲 street car 啦，其實都可以一落嘅話，就隔離已經有學校啦。咁所以就交通上啦就會方便，咁同埋亦都可以去唔同 campus 都冇問題嘅。咁大家你要留意翻啦，即係佢 George Brown 點解咁多唔同嘅 program 咧？特別提到就係我諗大家都聽我哋 webinar 都知㗎啦，有一個 local Canadian experience 咧都好緊要嘅，咁可以幫助大家就係喺未出嚟社會做事之前咧，真係喺讀書嘅時候已經儲咗啲實質嘅一啲實習經驗㗎啦。咁所以呢個都係好難得嘅。好多George Brown 嘅 program 咧都係有一啲我哋叫 co-op 啦，有啲 internship 嘅 placement 啦。咁等到學生咧真係喺加拿大即係有經驗之餘咧，亦都其實建立緊自己嘅 network 嘅，因為你第一次過去即係加拿大嘅地方，你唔係好識嗰度啲人，咁所以透過工作啦，咁你會幫到自己日後喺加拿大嘅發展啦。咁你都提一啲 popular program 啦，咁大家可以即係留意翻有啲乜嘢比較熱門啊 ，OK， 或者係比較喺嗰邊個工作機會會大啲啦。咁提過有幾個 program 大家可以留意啦，即係包括有當然啦就係computer 嘅 technician 啦 ，OK，construction and engineering 啦 ，fashion 啦。OK，business 啦等等嘅，咁特別都想提到有啲 program 可能都比較多香港人會留意，就第一個 ECE program 嘅。咁 ECE program 咧就係同佢哋咧讀 ECE 咧就會喺 Rise University 嗰度讀嘅。咁所以咧喺讀 ECE 期間，其實你都好似感覺有少少好似係一個大學生，因為當然啦。你未必係真係嗰個 Rise 學生，但係你係即係你要係用緊佢嘅 campus 上堂。咁加上佢哋係有 agreement 同 Rise 嘅，就係你讀完 ECE 咧係可以報到 Rise 嘅 degree 咯。咁所以ECE 咧，大家留意啦，因為我知道好多香港人咧都報嘅。頭先學校都提到就係都好多香港 advocate 有申請啦，咁特別呢幾年啦。咁有 ECE 咧，可以大家留意翻就係佢有一個叫做 accelerated 啦，同埋有一個即係就咁即係 normal track 嘅一個嘅申請，咁主要分別就係 accelerated 嗰啲咧就係讀快啲嘅，即係意思其實話咧其實你實質可能要讀4個 sem， 可能分開2年時間去2年嘅 academic year 去讀，但係實質咧其實你可以喺4個 sem 你可以唔放假連續咁樣讀嘅，咁就變咗係讀快咗㗎啦。出嚟嗰個 program 咧都係受認係為咗2個 academic years 嘅，但係你就會辛苦啲啦，因為冇得放假啦。咁所以睇翻自己個安排啦。如果你想讀 accelerated 嘅話咧，就可以亦都想快啲畢業咧，都可以考慮呢個 program。咁至於 fast track 嗰個就係 for 翻本身有 ECE 經驗先可以讀，如果唔 係就你想跟翻，你可以報 accelerator 啦，或者 non-accelerator 嗰個 program 嘅。咁最後都留意一科啦，大家可以留意就係我哋叫做老年學啦 ，OK 中文叫做呢科咧，其實都學校代表提到就係而家喺加拿大嗰個需求都大嘅，咁因為人口老化啦，而長者嗰個生活質素其實都不斷咁提高嘅，咁所以咧佢哋需要大量嘅人啦去照顧呢班嘅長者啦。嗱，講緊呢個 program 咧，唔係話幫啲長者去即係沖涼啊、抹身嗰啲，完全唔關事嘅。你會學一啲可能係一啲 psychology 嘅嘢啦，一啲 aging theory 啦，主要都係日後啦係課一啲喺你喺一啲 senior 嘅 home centre 嗰度咧就去take care 翻佢哋嘅，即係點樣去設計啲 program 可以令到佢可以開心啲啦，或者可能娛樂下佢哋啦，或者用一啲乜嘢嘅 facilities 令到佢哋可以enjoy 到佢哋而家嘅生活咧。咁所以嗰科咧就 code 就係 C152啦，大家可以留意嘅。咁大家睇翻呢個 program 會唔會都啱你哋自己個 background 啦。咁最後就有當然就係即係我哋叫做我哋廚藝嗰方面嘅 program 啦，呢個都可以值得留意嘅，因為都唔係話太多嘅 college 係有一個咁好嘅廚藝學校嘅，咁加上頭先佢提到一個 Nadila 啦，其實都係喺 George Brown 讀完啦，而家就喺上海度開餐廳啦，咁所以睇翻有一樣嘅，睇下自己個 background 係咪同廚嗰方面啊，想去再深造啊，或者其實真係好有興趣啦，咁我亦都可以留意個廚係啦，咁留意嗰個最後啦，講咗個收生要求啦，咁留意翻香港嘅學生啦，基本上你夠18歲啦 ，complete 咗中學嘅話咧，你就可以申請噶啦。咁睇翻你基本上啦，你數學佢寫就即係話要 DSE Level 2啦。咁如果你話如果你 Level 2都唔好，但係你學校成績 pass 咗嘅話咧，就麻煩可以用學校個校內成績都得嘅，攞翻啲近呢3年嘅成績 ，OK， 咁睇翻你 Grade 11同 Grade 12個成績啦。咁如果唔係就可以用 DSE 都得嘅。咁英文個要求啦，留意翻如果你係曾經即係喺8大院校讀過書 ，OK 已經可能有 degree holder 啦，咁你可以 waive 到英文啦。如果你 DSE 有 level 4，你都可以 waive 咗個英文嘅。咁仲有如果你係曾經係讀過CE 英文有 C 啦，或者你 A level 有 D 都可以嘅。咁等等唔同嘅要求。咁其實學校都好好，都即係發覺而家香港其實香港學生本身英語能力都強嘅，咁所以見到可能如果佢哋有攞到嘅成績，其實就可以 waive 咗個 IELTS 或者即係 Duolingo 等等或者 TOEFL 等等啦。咁呢啲都係一個好好嘅吸引嘅地方嘅，亦都學校都好好，就係考慮到原來香港 applicants 其實都英文能力都一定有，加上有啲人未必中意考英文試嘅，咁所以如果 waive 到嘅話咧，我哋都盡量幫你睇咗你嘅 application， 再話俾你聽你可唔可以 waive 咗英文咯。咁當然如果你曾經喺啲英語國家讀書。OK， 咁你就亦都可以 waive 埋個英文嘅，咁亦都唔多學校有呢個 policy，咁所以即係大家可以留意啦。咁最後講埋啦，嗰個 application 咧其實已經開緊嘅，1月2023年就係上個禮拜已經開㗎啦，就上個禮拜6。咁咧所有嘅學位啦 ，OK 都係我哋叫做 first come first serve 嘅。咁因為大家都假設大家啲嘢都係齊就報啦 ，OK， 咁你就其實學校就睇邊個早啲報嘅啫。咁我亦都尤其是最 popular program ECE 咧，其實我第一日已經一開就幫啲學生報噶啦。咁都機會收生機會都大嘅，如果你早啲報。咁所以咧，而家都係隔咗一個禮拜咋嚇，咁所以都大家要真係報名就快啦，因為我哋4月30號之前咧，如果你想係揀1月2023年兼職嘅話咧，咁就我哋會 waive application fee 啦。咁如果你話2022年今年9月嘅都可以申請㗎啦，咁但係你要睇翻個 program 仲收唔收，咁但係個 application fee 就唔可以 waive 啦，咁因為我哋呢個 promotion 就係 for 2023年1月，咁同樣都係大家登記翻個時間，再同我哋講你嘅 application， 我哋話翻俾你聽，你哋點樣申請啦？係啦，sorry，ECE 係等於 Early Childhood Education 嘅 ，OK， 大家睇翻嗰個啱啱見到條問題彈出嚟啫，係啦，咁呢一科大家可以即係再留意啦。最後就係講翻。如果而家報名嘅話咧，都唔係話講緊係咪下個月出 offer， 唔係嘅，所有嘅 offer 都係6月22號之後學校先至開始睇 application。咁例如啦，有啲睇翻 faculty 啦，有啲快出嘅話咧，可能即係 within 可能嗰個月內或者可能7月其實都會出到個 offer 噶啦。咁所以大家記住早啲報，純粹係你個位會 起碼入咗機先，就快啲知道你係已經係第幾名報緊㗎啦。OK， 但唔代表係咪下個月出 offer 就唔係所有嘢都係6月22號之後我先可以有 decision 逼到學校先會講。咁Duolingo 最後一個就係 Duolingo 睇到暫時2023年5月嘅啫，係啦。咁日後仲睇唔睇咧？學校會 review 緊嘅。好，咁暫時咁多，咁我先講即係 Q&A session， 我哋就開始即係答下啲問題啦。Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for your time. I know it's late in Toronto right now. Yeah, and have a great weekend, and we will see how we can help each other later and see if we can have more students for you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Venus, for organizing this webinar. Yeah. I'm very happy to be here. All right, guys. It's very nice to meet you all today. Make sure to check out Rise Smart if you have any following questions about George Brown College programs. And I hope one day I will be able to see you in our campus as well. Before that, please take care. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Nadia. Have a great weekend. Thanks. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
好，咁我就留多一陣先，咁大家可以咧就睇下有冇啲特別問題。咁我都想最後啦做少少 wrap up，就係講下等陣啊，都開翻個 screen 先。OK， 咁係啦，大家有任何問題啦，可以即係簡單嘅，你可以 WhatsApp 我哋啦 ，OK， 或者你想約時間見面咧，就麻煩喺個 Zoom 即係約翻個登記，然之後 Zoom 嗰度我哋再傾啦。